Hello, it is Tuesday. Gridiron Garage Tuesday. It kind of has a nice ring to it, doesn't it, buddy?
Gridiron Garage Tuesday?
Gridiron Garage Tuesday.
Never heard of her.
Me either. She looks nice, though. Oh! Surprise, surprise, Gridiron Garage Tuesday. So, I'm your host, Zach Curtis. Alongside of me, co-host at J Law. How's it going, bud?
What's going on? Just hanging out with my two buds.
Hanging out with your two buds?
I feel like I haven't said it in a while.
Yeah, you haven't said it. I was thinking about that the other day. You haven't.
Hanging out with my two buds.
And our other bud over there is at Big Daddy Griff. What's going on, Griff? Yep. Hold the applause. Hold the applause. So we are trying a new thing. It is Tuesday. Gridiron Garage Sports Edition is out on Tuesday right now. It'll be out. Thanks for listening. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel. Subscribe anywhere you listen to podcasts. We're all over the place, boys. All over the place. All over the place. Anybody got anything else to say?
Let's start her up.
Griffin.
Start your engines.
So, Griffin, we're going to turn it over to you because we got some big news that happened on the Monday night. Go ahead and talk about it.
What happened?
Your boy Dak, boy.
Oh, yeah. I thought we were talking about this later. I didn't know we were starting right off.
No, we're starting right off with it.
Yeah, Dak Prescott got paid, baby. He got paid, I think, the highest guaranteed money ever. He's going to make $70 million in his first season with guaranteed money and, I guess, $40 million a year, I think. I think he's averaged out $42 million a year or something crazy.
You're super happy about this?
Yeah.
Yeah?
I'm happy they paid him.
Yeah, but they got to pay Zeke, too.
Zeke's already paid.
Yeah, I know, which means that they can't pay anyone else.
Well, that's the thing. So the deal's only for 4 years. It's not like a 10-year deal like Mahomes or those other guys. So a 4-year deal, if he ends up not playing up to par, they just don't re-sign him. It's not like they're going to be stuck with him for like 7 or 8 years like some of those quarterbacks have signed for. You know what I'm saying? Because that's the whole reason they held off so long. See, he wanted like a 5 or 6 year deal, and they only wanted to sign him to a 4-year deal. So they kind of went leeway on the money, but they said we don't want to sign you for 5 years then.
I think it's a bad sign. I'm with Jake.
So I think the Zeke was a bad sign, and it fucked him in this deal. Because I think it's almost a fair deal for Dak Prescott with the short terms, and he's getting paid a lot of money. Might not be worth that much money, but I'm all for paying quarterbacks if they're good. I'm not all for paying running backs, and I think that they overpaid for some players on that team, and it's going to bite them in the ass.
That's what I was saying. Like, I think that they both should have gotten paid, but I think it's going to end up like the LA Rams, to where they had to release both of their highest paid players.
We'll see after he wins MVP this season.
How many yards he's throwing for? 6,000? Is that the stat you always say?
He's throwing for 6,700
He's on par
yards.
for 6,000.
No, 6,700. That's almost
6,700.
So that's insane. You got to admit that's insane. Through 5 games, he held that pace?
Well, I mean, there's been a lot of MLB players that have hit home runs in their first game.
Yeah, but
They're on
MLB's a
pace
lot
for
longer
162.
season. MLB's a lot longer
They're
season.
on pace for
than 16
162.
games. What I'm
That's
saying
a lot
is,
of home runs.
So you're talking
How
about
many
one
home
game?
runs is that?
Talking about like one game? One game and one home
That's
run?
a lot of home runs.
I'm talking about 5 games. After 5 games, he was on pace for 6,700 yards.
Aristides Aquino hit 17 in his first, 20.
And his 5th game was shortened because he got hurt. He would have probably been on pace for 7,000 after that game if he kept playing.
What about Aristides Aquino? Dude, he was on pace for 110.
Yeah, but then he came back next year and sucked. Dak Prescott didn't come back next year and the next year and next year and sucked.
Oh,
He came back.
you say that now.
He won't.
Dude, he got paid. He's going to take a
Their
back
offense
seat,
is
boy.
loaded. Their offense is literally loaded. Their defense has been trash. That's been the reason they were so bad last year. That's why they lost so many games. That's also the reason he threw for 6,700 yards on pace was because his defense was so bad he had to throw the ball a fuckload. You know what I'm saying?
I think he's good.
I don't think he's going to throw 6,700 yards
I'm
next
yanking
year.
your chain.
I know. I think he's awesome. I think he's really good. I mean, he would have if he wouldn't have gotten hurt, he would have been in like the top 7 quarterback like range this past season, like a debate for sure. Because there was some people that I saw had him at
top 7?
Yeah.
Why not top 5 or top 10? Why top 7?
Because there's a lot of good quarterbacks in the NFL right now, Zach.
But then why don't I just put him in the top 10?
Yeah, you got to put him in the top 10.
Why top 7?
Because 7 is lower than 10.
It's cherry picking stats.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Well, no, because I'm thinking because if you want my honest opinion right now, right, with the injury happening, I have him as I think the 7th best quarterback in the league, in my opinion, like currently right now, not all time.
Yeah, but so you have to say top 10.
Well,
right?
I'm saying top 7.
When Andy Dalton played for us, we didn't say, "Oh, Andy Dalton's top 14 in the league."
Okay, I can see what you're saying, but what I'm saying is if I'm at the 7th quarterback, I'm not going to say, yeah, I have number 7, he's top 10. I'm saying, no, he's in the top 7 QBs in my opinion.
But if you say top 10, that's more respectable.
Zach, you have no room to talk about grammar after earlier's group me debate. We don't want to get into that. So anyway,
I'm not talking about grammar. I'm just saying
what I'm saying is I think he's a top 7 quarterback right now. I think he's number 7 on my list. I think he could have been higher. There's some people that I saw put him at top 5 already with the injury. I don't think so.
No way.
I think if he would have played the full season, it could have been a debate depending on how he finished the year. But the team is also really bad too, and I think team success has to go with a little bit. I'm happy about it. I'm happy they signed him. So we'll see if it pans out. I hope it does. Because I think he could be really, really, really good.
I've said it before. I think he is good, but I thought it was crazy. He was going after Mahomes' money. I'm surprised he got it. I don't think he's that good.
I don't
think he got Mahomes. Mahomes getting like $50 million a year.
Yeah, but still, I mean, he got paid.
I think he got paid. But every quarterback sets the market, though. Like, wait till you see when Lamar Jackson gets his contract. It's going to be like close to Mahomes' money because there's going to be more and more and more money spent every single year. I guarantee it. It doesn't matter how good you think he is. It's just every quarterback.
How much
does
the cap go up every year?
I don't know off the top of my head, but it definitely
goes up every year.
Yeah, it goes up.
It's going down next year in 2021.
It might just because of the COVID stuff, but historically it's gone up every year because every player has gotten more money. You know what I mean? So it evens out for the amount they're paying. It's like they're paying the same percentage. But what I'm saying is you look at all the past QBs, they got big deals, right? I think the first big one I'm thinking of is Matt Stafford had the biggest contract ever. Then after that, I don't remember who it was. Then Jared Goff had the biggest contract ever, and it kept going and going. Aaron Rodgers had the biggest contract ever, which makes sense, right?
Hold on. Right now it's Dak Prescott, Russell Wilson, Aaron Rodgers, and Matt Stafford.
Well, in
guaranteed money though.
Oh,
I think it was signing bonus. Like those were the highest.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. Is like every quarterback, every good quarterback, good to plus, but better than good, sets the market because the NFL is so desperate to get like that franchise guy. You know what I mean? That's why I said like it's a lot harder to find the franchise quarterback than it is to find like the franchise coach. You know what I mean? So they always want to get their franchise guys. They're willing to overpay for that quarterback spot because like Jared Goff is like one of the biggest contracts ever, and he probably wasn't worth the money, right? And then so every single quarterback ends up setting that market. Do you guys think Lamar Jackson's better than Jared Goff?
Yep.
Yeah. Lamar Jackson's gonna get paid more money than Jared Goff did, and with the caps going up, he's probably going to get paid more than Dak Prescott did. He might get close to Mahomes' money just for the fact that every year they reset the market. Baker Mayfield will probably get a huge deal if he has another couple good years. You know what I'm saying?
So I would rather, kind of going a la to your argument, I'd rather have Sean McVay. I'd rather pay him $160 million than Jared Goff.
Well, if you paid your coach that much money, your team would suck.
Yeah,
so.
I agree. But I'm just saying, like, to your argument, like, I'd rather pay Sean McVay to have him because I feel like he's your franchise coach and not your,
Okay, I get that, but also the year that Goff got paid, he made a Super Bowl and played awesome. Like he had like 40, he had like 38 touchdowns. So he had he had the best year of his career, and he got paid off of it. And they just didn't pan out after that. The whole team kind of fell apart when Gurley stopped playing bad.
So going back, if you are Dallas and you want to have a successful winning year this year, I think your hands are tied. Like you had to sign that deal.
What do you mean? Oh no, yeah, for sure.
Like if you want a winning team now out there,
100%, yeah,
you have to sign that deal with Dak.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean,
so I want to say like I know that their hands in the future are going to be tied with their contracts, but I feel like it was almost they didn't have a choice.
So the way I look at it right now, though, is we have the worst division in football. Like if they're not winning the division next year, it's because one of two things. One, Dak plays really bad.
Washington could get better.
No, they could for sure.
Yeah,
they don't have a quarterback. That's the one issue, and quarterback, as we know, is a big part of a team. But what I'm saying is, if Dallas doesn't win next year, my gut says it's gonna be one of two things: either Dak plays worse, right, doesn't play up to his par that he was playing the last 2 seasons, or the defense continues to be absolutely terrible like it was this past year. Because if the defense plays absolutely bad, right, there's nothing you can do if you're scoring 35 points a game, but then you're giving up 38 points a game. That's how it was the first 5 games of the season. But I'm just saying in general, the division's not very good, so they should be able to win it. I think they have a window now with a weak division that we can win the division a couple times and get in the playoffs. And the one thing I am worried about is offensive line and outside the defense. The defense is a clusterfuck. But I'm worried about the offensive line because they're getting old. Like their window is closing. They keep getting injuries, and they got old players like Tyron Smith. And then also, I'm a little worried about Zeke because he played so bad last year. So I guess we'll see what happens.
Where's he going?
You guys keep talking.
But yeah, anyway, I'm just worried about Zeke basically too. So
worried about him.
Yeah.
Offensive line. Him.
I think it was a mix of the offensive line and then.
It seems if you're a running back, it seems weird to me to have a bad year as a running back. If you are as fast as Zeke, as strong as Zeke, as quick as Zeke, and how should your numbers vary that much over year to year?
What
You know what I'm saying?
What I think it contributed a little bit last year though, because their defense was so bad, right? So it's hard to convince yourself to keep running the ball when you're behind 20 points. You know what I mean? So they were throwing the ball a lot last year.
I don't know his stats, but I mean, you could look at yards per attempt.
Yeah, you could. And I don't think it was very good. He fumbled more than he ever did too. So I don't know what it is. I don't know if it was a mind thing because he never fumbled that much in his career, and he had like 6 fumbles last year.
When you think of a sport like baseball, you can understand how a player goes through a slump because there's a lot of luck involved. Whether you're guessing pitches, whether something's happening, something's wrong with the way you're whatever you're doing. But in football, I just don't understand the slump.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure. I mean, I think it was a mixed offensive line because their offensive line was really dinged up, and then the fact that they were behind in so many games, they weren't even really running the ball that much, right? And so, I don't know. It's hopefully he plays better this season because I still think he's really, really good. I think people are going to sleep on him a little bit and hopefully have a turnaround year. But they need the offensive line to stay healthy. They need the defense to play better, and they need to draft some good defensive players.
Think about this: 3 years from now, maybe 4, if Bengals pick up Burrow's 5th-year option, if he has one, we're going to be in the same situation, and we're going to be literally biting our nails because we know the Bengals don't spend money. They don't fucking spend money. And if Burrow pans out to be the player that we think he's going to be, that's scary to think about.
They paid Andy Dalton, though.
Paid a man.
Yeah, but by the time that, we're getting, if Burrow continues on the trend that he was on, and he's like, all right, I want, $40, $50 million a year, whatever it's at, then that's scary. I don't think the Bengals would hold on to that.
Yeah, I think they would. I think most. You look at historically.
They did pay Joe Mixon though.
I would say look at the last time that a team actually let their franchise quarterback walk. Right. Trying to think of the last time it happened because I can't think of it.
Philip Rivers.
Even Deshaun. Well, no, Philip Rivers played his entire career with them.
Tom Brady.
He was like 40 years old.
Let him walk.
Yeah, like 40 years old.
Yeah.
I'm talking about like their
Tom
first
Brady?
contract when they're
Did
getting
you
that
say
big deal.
Yeah, Tom Brady.
No. I'm talking about in their prime when they get a big contract right there when they're due for a big contract.
Watson.
No, they signed him. He has a huge deal, but he wants out. He's demanding a trade. Even Deshaun Watson got signed. Like the franchise QB almost always gets signed. Dak was like one of the longest lingering ones, and I think Kirk Cousins, even him, like he was a franchise tag like 3 straight times before he got his deal. And then finally the Redskins let him walk. That's the only one I can think of is Kirk Cousins. The Redskins let him walk, and then the football team let him walk, and then the Vikings signed him. So, but like that's really all I can think off the top of my head, unless I'm missing an obvious one. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the quarterbacks almost always get signed. Even the last 2 franchise quarterbacks that the Bengals had, they signed both of them. They signed Carson Palmer and they signed Andy Dalton.
Yeah, but I'm talking like big money deals.
Yeah, but back then that was big money though. Like the market's dictated by what everyone pays for.
And I know that, but were they the highest paid quarterbacks? Were they getting big contracts like
I'd have to look back at it. I'm not sure.
Patrick Mahomes?
But I guarantee like when Carson Palmer signed his deal, he was probably a top 5 paid quarterback for sure at the time.
Look it up. I'm not arguing with you. I'm just saying I don't think the Bengals would pay that much money for
I think they would because again, I think the players dictate the market, and if the rest of the team's paying that much, you're not going to be able to compete unless you pay that much too. You know what I'm saying? And it's like the Bengals have more money to spend now in the cap than they did in 2003 or 2004. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. No,
I think the Bengals will for sure sign him. They might franchise tag him once or twice, like kind of the deal Dak got. But at the end of the day, I think that's almost kind of dumb too because you're just spending a bunch of money for like just 2 years. You know what I mean?
You know what? Joe's young, and I like to think of him as an honest man that would take a nice pay cut to stay in Cincinnati.
I don't think so. Maybe he wants to do the Tom Brady treatment though. Tom Brady took a bunch of pay cuts though. Tom Brady took a bunch of pay cuts.
He's not going to take pay cuts to stay in Cincinnati.
I don't know why you would. I don't know why you would.
Just for the sake of me, not going through this is from Bleacher Report. And the highest year Carson Palmer had, he earned $18.75 million in 2005.
Yeah, that's a lot of money back then.
No, I agree, but
he was probably a top 5 paid quarterback. He probably seriously was. I don't know for sure. I could be wrong, but I guarantee they paid him a lot of money because he was really good.
I'm glad sports don't dictate inflation.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would suck.
Be screwed.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. But anyway, back to it. I'm happy they signed Dak. Hopefully he balls out. I think Dak's awesome. I think he can be really, really, really good. And he's got a real good offense around him. So, but the Cowboys, they need to draft. They need to draft defense. You know who else needs to draft? The top 5 picks.
The top 5 picks.
Top 5 picks. So, admittedly, I think you guys both said you have no clue who's going top 5. Is that what you guys said?
Well, I forgot to even just make a layout. So
Gosh.
I made the layout, but I didn't make the notes. But we're going to wing it. So the Jaguars have the number 1 overall pick, and I think that I saw that they have $82 million in cap space.
A lot of cap space.
A lot of cap space. So I mean, it doesn't really matter with your first round pick because like they're gonna get a rookie contract either way. Like their signing bonus might be high, but obviously Trevor Lawrence is gonna go number 1 overall.
I think so. I saw some people
discrepancy.
I saw some people trying to put Zach Wilson number 1, and it blows my mind.
No way.
I think it's an absolute stretch to put anyone besides Trevor Lawrence in that spot.
I will say so.
You're stretching.
No. I think Trevor Lawrence is going number 1. Chris Sims, he did his power ranking, and he said he made it clear it wasn't the order he thinks they're going to get taken, but he said in his mind the top 5 quarterbacks based on how their careers will pan out, and he had Trevor Lawrence at number 2. He had Zach Wilson number 1, and I thought it was crazy at first, but I looked back at all of his old ones, and he's honestly been pretty money. Like he had Mitch Trubisky as the 5th best quarterback in that draft who went for the Bears. He had Pat Mahomes number 1, Deshaun Watson number 2. He had money in order. The Carson Wentz draft, he had Dak Prescott as the best quarterback and Carson Wentz down, and Jared Goff below him, which that was a flip flop. I think Goff's better than Wentz, but he had Josh Allen as the best quarterback or one of the best quarterbacks in his draft class. Lamar Jackson is the 2nd best. He's been pretty money on the lower guys that he thinks are better than the clear cut number 1s. That being said, I think Trevor Lawrence is awesome. I think he's probably the best player in this draft class, or best quarterback, I should say.
This has nothing to do with Trevor Lawrence, but Lamar Jackson sneakily snuck down, didn't he, into the draft?
He went 32nd.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah, I said he was going to be good too. I said he was going to be a good NFL player, and some people made fun of me, and then he won an MVP. So what can I say?
What do they know?
Yeah, QB whisperer Griffin over here. So.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I think Lawrence go number 1. Lawrence go number 1.
So other than QB, what do you think the Jaguars need?
Everything.
Everything. Yeah, I mean
they got a running back. Team. They don't need a running back. They got a good center. Got a good receiver.
So, if I'm not mistaken, that was the Bengals' first win this last season was versus the Jaguars. Does that sound right?
Because they didn't blitz anybody.
Right. Well, that's what I was going to say. They
never blitz.
They need a new defensive coordinator because you watch the Ravens. They literally sent the house almost every play, and then the Jaguars they just dropped back in coverage every single time. And Burrow was like, "Oh, this shit's easy." Yeah. Starting to sound like Tua out there. Man, the NFL is easy, bro.
I think.
And then Chase Young
Lawrence
came around the corner.
1. I think for the Jets pick at number 2, everyone's saying Zach Wilson for sure now. I think they'll either take Zach Wilson or I think they might trade back. If they don't take Zach Wilson, I think they'll trade back. If they decide we want to stick with Darnold, we don't want to shop him anymore because I think they're kind of shopping him right now.
Yeah.
But if they decide we want to stick with Darnold one more year with a new coach, then I think they'll trade their pick back and try and acquire more picks. But what I always say is it's not very often your team gets to be a top 2 pick in the draft. You know what I mean? You might be able to say different for the Jets because they're so bad. But what I'm saying is it's not very often you get to pick that high and you get a chance at a guy who people think is a franchise guy, right? So it's hard to pass up taking, if they really think Zach Wilson's going to be that good, it's hard to pass up on him if you have that spot to take him. You know what I'm saying?
I mean,
so I think they're probably going to take Zach Wilson.
If Zach Wilson's going that high in this QB draft class, I mean, it's not like there's good QBs in there, but it's not oh my god, look at this QB draft class. You know what I mean?
Some people think the QB draft class is insane, though. There's some people that are saying it's insanely good.
It's very good, but anyways, that's a different debate for another time. But I think that Sam Darnold has been hurt, has had bad coaches, whatever. Draft the guy, put a fire underneath his ass. Be like, hey, you're our guy going forward, but we have Zach Wilson on the bench if you screw it up.
I think if they draft Wilson, I think they're 100% going to trade Darnold, though. Because what you don't want to do is you don't want a Dwayne Haskins situation, right, where he plays bad again, right, and then everyone's like, okay, this guy actually sucks now, right, and then he just rides the bench, you can get no trade value out of him. So if they draft Wilson, if the team like the Broncos or a team that actually wants a quarterback that's willing to trade, you can get a pick out of him or get something good out of him. You might as well trade him while his value's high and wait until week 7 when he has no trade value. You know what I mean?
What happened to Drew Lock at the Broncos? He's just not panning out, or is it just a low name?
He makes bad choices. He doesn't need to work on mechanics. He needs to work on reading defenses because he just throws it right to linebackers,
Hell yeah,
straight to him. But
Hold on. Who do you think it to?
My mind was elsewhere. I was thinking of how many quarterbacks do you think could have been franchise guys that just never got drafted?
Never got drafted?
Picture Tom Brady that maybe had a few more bad games in college, never gets picked up. There's no Tom Brady. Think about Joe Burrow. Think about Joe Burrow. Literally, if he does not go to LSU, if he stays at Ohio State, never starts a game, never goes to the NFL, he could have. Where'd he go before Ohio State? He could have never made it to Ohio State.
He wasn't Ohio University.
There's definitely 100%.
He got recruited by Ohio State.
Elite level talent out there that does not make it to the league. That could theoretically be the next Tom Brady.
For sure. No, I guarantee there's probably been some guys that could have been really good in the right system. They could have been Hall of Fame players. For sure.
And they just, no one knows.
Yeah.
You're something crazy.
Sitting on the bench.
Whoa.
Johnny Manziel.
Tiny. Tom Brady only started 2 seasons at Michigan.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you see his combine? Him running in
the
cargo
shorts.
Did you see that? Yeah. Running his 40 in
That's so old.
Shorts.
Like, dude, there was one year he tweeted because they tweeted out every year at the combine that here's Tom Brady running the 40. And Tom Brady one year quoted and said, "Guys, I get it. You show this every single year. So please stop showing this
It's
video."
just as funny, though.
I know it is. It's really, really funny. He's so slow. He was so slow. But anyway, I got Zach Wilson number 2. I think I'm going to go Dolphins. It's a big one because I still think the Dolphins are going to trade for Deshaun Watson. I think my opinion, I think they're going to drop the bag. I think they're going to give the 3rd pick up to Houston. I think they're going to drop the bag and get Deshaun Watson. But I'm going as no trade. So if the Dolphins were to pick here, I would say they probably need wide receiver. They need O-line too. I don't think they'll take Sewell. I think they'll probably take Jamar Chase, who's, if they were going to take that pick, I think they take Jamar Chase, who's a really good receiver. Probably going to be the best receiver in the draft, him or Devontae Smith, in my opinion. I don't know. I think it's tough. I think it makes more sense for the Dolphins to get a franchise quarterback and trade out and get Deshaun Watson. That's just my opinion.
So you're saying Tua isn't the guy?
I mean, I don't want to say that, but I think if you have a chance to get Deshaun Watson, you know he's going to be the guy, then you can also trade Tua because Tua might end up being part of that deal to make that trade. So I'd rather have Deshaun Watson than Tua.
That just blows my mind. Like, I want to know what's going on in the Dolphins front office to be like, Josh Rosen, don't need him. Get him out of here. Yeah. Tua, don't need him. Get him out of here. I'm like, that's fucking 2 top 10 picks that you just traded away.
No, I agree with that. I mean, I think it's definitely way too early to throw out the curtain on Tua. Because, I mean, he can definitely still be good. You know what I mean? You never know. I mean, he was a rookie last year. He didn't play great, especially like the second half of the season. But if you have a chance to make the Deshaun Watson trade happen, and that completely depends on if Houston's willing to even trade him, because they keep saying they're not going to trade him, which is stupid of them because he's not going to play for him. But if they can get the deal done, I think they should do it. But it depends. They might ask for like something ridiculous, like 6 picks and like 6 first-round picks, which wouldn't be worth it.
Question: how many games did Tua play
last year?
Yeah.
Played. I don't know. I'd venture to say he probably started 10 to 12 games, something like that.
Tua?
Yeah.
I thought Fitzmagic started more.
Fitzmagic started at the beginning of the year, but then they benched him, and Tua started a bunch in a row. Then he got benched. Then Fitzmagic started. Then they brought Tua back. I don't know. I guess around 10.
How can you say that Tua has potential after the shit show that he threw out there, but say Jalen Hurts is not the guy in Philadelphia right now?
No, I didn't say that.
Come on,
I
bro.
did not. I said.
Come on.
We were in
group.
No. We were in the car. I was trying to fucking rile you up. That's what I always do. In the car, though, I even told you. I said I think it's too early to just throw out Jalen Hurts. I said he only played 5 games.
But then why are we throwing out Tua already?
I'm not throwing him out. I just said that Tua, he still has a chance to be good. That it's too early to throw out the towel on him. But if you have a chance to get Deshaun Watson, why would you not have Deshaun Watson as your starter over Tua?
I agree with that.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think Tua's going to be. I didn't say Tua's going to be really bad. I said that I think it's too early to throw out the towel on him, right? But he didn't look that great last year. That's all I said.
All right.
I'm just thinking if you have a chance to get Deshaun Watson, you take Deshaun Watson. That's my opinion.
What do you think?
Yeah, I'd take Deshaun Watson. Yeah. Deshaun Watson over Tua.
Zach putting words in my mouth again.
I think he could lead that team to greatness.
Yeah, I think the team's built really good. They need an offensive line, but yeah.
He's very toxic today.
So I want to talk about
very toxic.
So 3rd pick though, there's no Tua trade or no Deshaun Watson trade. I think the Dolphins take Jamar Chase. So 4th pick, the Falcons need a quarterback. I think they could definitely get away with not taking a quarterback because I still think Matt Ryan's all right. He's not going to make a Super Bowl anymore though. So the way I'm looking at it is
he's worth too much money to go anywhere.
No, I agree.
He's stuck.
They got a ton of money tied up in him. But the way I look at it, right, is again with the Falcons, how often are you going to be in a chance to get a guy with this many quarterbacks that are projected to go top 5, top 6? You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And you have a pick in that area. So what I'm looking at is, do you think you have a better chance in the future of making a Super Bowl with Matt Ryan still at 37, or with a 21-year-old Justin Fields? You see what I'm saying? That's the way I look at it. So I think they have to take Justin Fields. I know some people think they should take Trey Lance now, which I think is out of nowhere. I don't know. Some of the NFL draft people, there's been no football played for the past however many months, right? And these guys that are like, okay, so yeah, he's like 15th. Oh, now he's 4th, right? Like, what do you just watch more film? You're like, oh yeah, that's a better throw than I thought it was before. So I'm gonna put him up higher.
He was hyped up at North Dakota anyway.
He was, but he really hurt his draft stock because
for playing that one game.
Yeah, dude, and I could be wrong. I mean, I get he doesn't want to get hurt and doesn't want to get sick. Those are the 2 reasons that he did the one game show out. But in my opinion, like, you were projected to go top 5, top 6. And then now you dropped all the way down to like the teens. Now we're starting to creep back up to that top 5, top 6 range again from the drafts I'm seeing. But I feel like if he would, theoretically, if he'd have played and balled out, he would have been a top 5 pick solidified. But then again, you can always make the argument, right? He could have gotten sick and missed games, could have gotten hurt, which I understand that. So,
well, that kind of happened with Tua, where he was projected to go like 1 or 2 behind Burrow or in front of Burrow, and then he got hurt, and then he was like, maybe he's like 10 now, and then he bounced back up. And so
I get you. I think Justin Fields. I think they should take Justin Fields. My opinion. I think again, it's no guarantee you're going to be at this spot to pick a quarterback that could be really, really good like Justin Fields. And I just think they have a better chance in the future win with Justin Fields than Matt Ryan. So,
and Justin Fields gives you more of a longevity.
Yeah, and I don't think Matt Ryan's bad. I think he actually is. He's not the problem with the Falcons. Their defense is the problem. They really need defense, actually. But I think you got to get a chance to get a new franchise guy. You take him. My opinion. Don't come at me.
All right, bro. Number 5. Who do you got, Jake? This is your time to shine.
Sewell!
Is it gonna be like the Jay Bruce thing? Every time he like makes a good block.
Hopefully he's making a good block every single time.
I hope so too, man.
That could. What if like we need an O-line so bad that we actually have a chant for Sewell?
I hope so.
So
like there's like a 6-yard run instead of like saying Joe Mixon. We're like Sewell.
So with the 5th pick, I have the Bengals taking running back Chuba Hubbard from Oklahoma State. No, I think they're gonna definitely take O-line. I saw a tweet that said supposedly they were locked in on Sewell. If he's there, they're gonna take Sewell. I think the only reason they don't get him is if someone changes Mike Brown's mind the last second and takes someone else, or if Sewell gets taken like maybe by the Dolphins. I could see the Dolphins taking him too at 3 if they wanted to reach and get an offensive line because they don't have an offensive line. But I think Sewell goes there. I think if he gets taken though, I think they either have a decision to make between Rashawn Slater, trading back, or maybe even Kyle Pitts. But I think they're going to take Sewell.
So I agree. Like if he's still there, take Sewell. But if he's not there, I want them to either take Jamal Chase. Is that his name?
So he'll probably be gone. I haven't got number 3 though.
Or Alabama guy, Heisman winner. What's his name? Receiver.
Devontae Smith.
Yeah, Devontae Smith.
See, I'm not super sold on Devontae Smith.
All right. The only thing with Devontae Smith is obviously put some weight on him. Okay.
Yeah, he's skinny.
So, but he's had that adversity his whole life. I watched like a little 30 for 30 on it. So you have T. Higgins, Smith, Boyd, Burrow, and Mixon.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, your O line's still going to be trash, but save that money that we would spend on if we potentially re-sign Green and get a rookie wide receiver who has upside. I don't know.
I can get that.
Obviously, I want the O line.
I mean, my opinion, and again, I'm not a draft analyst. I could be wrong, but I think they definitely need to take Sewell. I think we agree on that. But I think if that he's taken and they want to go offense, I think they should take Kyle Pitts. So I think still having Tyler Boyd and T. Higgins as your 1 and 2. I think you need a really, really good tight end, and Kyle Pitts is a monster. I don't know if you guys watch that dude from Florida, but he's definitely one of the best tight end recruits.
Is he the tight end? Yeah.
He's one of the best tight end prospects in a while. Like, he's really freaking good. He's basically like a giant wide receiver that plays tight end. He's super athletic.
We just got a decent tight end. What's his name?
Who, Drew Sample?
No. Didn't we just draft a tight end?
I don't think so.
Who was like decent?
I don't know.
I don't think so.
Uzama. He's still there, right?
Yeah, but he's been in the league for like 5 years now.
Okay. I don't know. I forget who I'm thinking. Hold on, let me look it up. Let me take it up. It's not Uzama.
It's not Uzama. But what I'm saying is, I think they take Kyle Pitts. And honestly, I know some people might get mad at me for this, but I think Jalen Waddle might be better than Devontae Smith. So the only reason that Devontae Smith had this insane Heisman year is because Jalen Waddle got hurt. If you look at the 3 or 4 games, whatever it was, before Jalen Waddle got hurt, he was the number 1 receiver at Bama, and he was having the Devontae Smith season. He got hurt and missed the rest of the year. And so then Devontae Smith slid into the number 1 spot, and he got all the yards and stuff. But he had more touchdowns, more yards, and more catches than Devontae Smith. But when he got hurt, then it all went to Devontae Smith. You know what I mean? And he's faster. I mean, I'm not saying Devontae Smith's going to be bad because he looks awesome, right? But I think it's like a situation where last year's draft, the number 1 receiver taken was Henry Ruggs out of Alabama, and he was not graded the number 1 receiver. So receivers get graded differently. It's all in the eyes of what people see. And I think some scouts might be looking at Jalen Waddle and being like, that guy's really freaking good. No one's really talking about him as a top 10 pick right now because he got hurt. But he was the best receiver in Alabama before he got hurt.
Think about it. T. Higgins did not come in to be the Bengals' number 1 receiver.
No.
But in my opinion, I think at the end of the year he was.
He might end up being next year, but I think Tyler Boyd's going to be the number 1 receiver to start the season. And the only way Higgins could have an insane year, right? And they could end up being like, okay, he's the best guy on their team now.
But,
you know what I mean?
What I'm saying, as a rookie wide receiver, did you expect T. Higgins to make such a big impact at what he did on the field? That's what I'm trying to say.
He performed awesome.
Yeah, he
I mean,
performed
T.
awesome,
Higgins
yeah.
was great, but also Boyd was better.
Oh yeah, I mean I agree. Like Boyd is amazing.
When he got drafted too, I even said I was like, that's a really good pick because T. Higgins is like really really good. He was Clemson's best receiver. You know what I mean? He was the number one option for Trevor Lawrence. So.
If Zach Taylor does not find a spot for Auden Tate, I quit. I quit being a fan.
Why?
Dude, I didn't know his Auden Tate's so big.
He's huge.
6'5". I didn't know he's that tall.
Like figure it out. Like just throw him out there as a decoy and then just throw it to fucking Boyd every time.
We need some more Erickson love, some Alex Erickson love.
He just needs to return more punts.
Fair catch and life.
But
Yeah.
there's my top 5. That's what I got. Feel free to roast me, flame me. I really don't give a shit. I just want to know there would be some of our friends made fun of me for saying Lamar Jackson would be the best quarterback in that draft, and he won an MVP. So
Griff's in a mood tonight. I don't like it. Cheer up.
Sweet.
All right, let's stay in the AFC North since we're with the Bengals. I brought it up the other day. I thought it was kind of a fun debate, but I feel like everybody's on the same page about it. But who is the worst AFC North QB in the division
right now,
right now?
Ben Roethlisberger.
Ben Roethlisberger.
Okay. So what if I threw this out there saying that how can you say that Ben is worse than Joe Burrow when Joe Burrow didn't play a full year?
No, I get that. I can
Potential.
understand that for sure. But I think that based off how he was playing and how Ben played at the end of the year, I just don't see Ben being any good next year. That's my opinion.
At that point, you could say Ryan Finley's better than Ben Roethlisberger because Ryan Finley, won that game.
He might be. I don't know.
Obviously,
Ben Roethlisberger's old, man. He doesn't have the Tom Brady touch. You know what I mean? He's not aging. There's no way he knows what the TB12 method is. The Ben Roethlisberger is the Dunkin' Donuts method. That's all. That's how he's aged his career. So I don't know. I think he's just like it's one of the weird things too. It's like he's such a legend there. You know what I mean? It's like if he asked to come back another year as the Steelers. He put the Steelers in a bad spot because they're not going to tell Ben Roethlisberger to fuck off and retire. You know what I mean? They're like, okay, yeah, we'll resign you. But then some of the fans are like, God, Ben, really? Just retire. Come on, let's try and get a quarterback. You know what I mean?
Do you think that we see Ben Roethlisberger in any uniform but a Steelers?
No.
You don't think so?
No.
You don't think
he's a Steeler rest of his career?
You don't think he'll pull like a Phillip Rivers?
I don't think so. I think Phillip Rivers is better than Ben Roethlisberger right now. Anyway, I don't know if a team would want to sign Ben Roethlisberger.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Who's number one though?
Number one,
Baker or Jackson?
I think it's Lamar Jackson, in my opinion.
Yeah,
I think it's close.
Lamar Jackson.
I think it's
Really?
close. I think it's closer than it is.
You think Baker? I mean, I'm high on
I don't know.
Baker Mayfield.
I think if I was, it depends what team I am.
Yeah.
I mean, you literally have to terraform your offense to fit Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
And if you don't have the personnel to do it, then I don't think Lamar works really.
No, I agree.
But Baker, I mean, he's fun.
Yeah.
He's electric, dude.
I know.
He's got hella swag.
I think
I mean,
it's-
the swag coming out from Burrow and Baker, dude, that's the swaggiest two white guys you've ever seen. Dude, they just come out there swagging. You're like, bro, what is this?
So think about this. You switch Baker Mayfield and Lamar Jackson. Okay. The Browns, I feel like, have bigger diva name wide receivers in Odell Beckham and Jarvis Landry. Would you guys agree with that?
Divas?
Diva. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So
They're also better, too. But
right. No, I'm not saying skill wise, but Lamar Jackson is a notorious runner. And if he is on the Browns with those two receivers taking away touches from OBJ and Landry,
Yeah.
how pissed do you think that those two receivers get? And does that make Lamar look better or worse?
I think if he went to the Browns, I think he'd honestly throw the ball better because the Browns don't have good receivers. They have Marquise Brown. That's it, and he really dropped a lot of passes.
The Ravens.
And the Ravens, sorry. And Mark Andrews is probably their best receiver on the team. He's their tight end, in my opinion. I think that if you put him on the Browns, I think he would actually have better throwing stats. I'm not saying he'd be lighting the league up because I still think he's not super accurate in some cases. I think he's probably proved that to most people, right? Mm-hmm. But I just think, I don't know, my opinion with Lamar Jackson, that dude's so athletic. You can put him in most offenses. He can make stuff done with his feet. But to what Jake said, right, you almost got to cater your offense around him in some case and actually put in QB runs and stuff like that to get the most out of him. And we saw that his 1 year or his second year with the Ravens when he won MVP. Mm-hmm. They had catered his offense around him. And you kind of saw the next year where they toned it back. They didn't run as much with him with QB runs. I think they were afraid to get him hurt. But they didn't run as much. And obviously the stats weren't still there. He still ran for 1,000 yards, though. That's insane.
Bengals held him to 3 rushing yards. That's all I got to say. First time since high school, I believe.
But I think that I think the gap between. I think if you ask most people, right, just most casual people that watch the game, and you say who's better, Lamar Jackson or Baker Mayfield, like 90% of people will say Lamar Jackson. But I think it's way closer than that. I think like Baker on a team with a good offense like this and an actual good head coach, he played awesome last year. He really did. The team played way better. So I think it goes Lamar Baker, which is pretty close. I don't. We'll see how after this year what I think. But Lamar Baker, then I'll go Joe Burrow.
I'm with you.
And Ben back.
When Baker Mayfield came out of Oklahoma, I was like, this guy is the biggest dickhead I've ever seen in my life. But like actually seeing him turn the Browns into what the Browns are now and the swagger that he brings to the game, I love it. And I hate the Browns just because they're in the Bengals division.
Baker's awesome.
He is
awesome.
Baker in college.
I mean, he's got so much swag. He like actually has Burrow has like this nerdy swag, but he has like hella confidence to back it up. But Baker's got like actual swag.
I love that video. I've sent it to you a few times where I guess Baker throws a touchdown and then he just comes running in and slides on his knee and like
does, like, a
turns
spin
and does like the picture.
Yeah.
That's swag.
I liked Baker ever since he planted the flag in the middle of the Ohio State O. I thought that was hilarious.
See, that's what made me not like him.
I don't like Ohio State, so I thought it was awesome.
I don't like him either. After
You
what
like
they did.
disrespecting Ohio State?
I
I love it now.
His famous one though
Fuck Ohio
was
State.
his famous one though is when he grabbed his junk to the Kansas players. The Kansas
They wouldn't
guys.
shake his hand.
Yeah, they wouldn't shake his hand. They were talking shit to
Was
him.
Baker the one that got tackled by the police officer?
Yeah,
Yeah. You see that
Dude,
one?
he got speared. Yeah, he got a PI.
He was like, he was drunk and he was up against like a brick
wall. It was like
kinda.
a half. It was like a half wall.
Yeah.
Like a 2.5, 3 foot.
And it
wall.
looked like he like started to take off running. The cop just speared him against the wall.
Damn, bro, I haven't seen that
So it was
before.
one of the things. He was like drunk and he was like kind of walking away from the cop, and the cop started grabbing his wrist, kind of like trying to get him. He's like, "Oh no, don't!" He's like, "Whoa, what are you doing, man? What are you doing?" And the cop out of nowhere, like form tackle, dove, pressed the X button in Madden, wrapped him up and speared him against the wall like Vontez Burfict style, and then he got arrested. It was an insane tackle. It was a great form tackle.
Boys, I miss football. I want to
Yeah, I
be
do
back.
too.
But you know what's right around the corner, Jake?
MLB?
Your favorite sport.
I love baseball, dude. Brings me back to the golden days.
Yeah. So did you see what Trevor Bauer did?
I did not see this, but I saw like a still frame. What is going on here?
So
Spring training.
yeah,
He's
it's
being-
it's a
he's
spring
being a jockey.
training like little quirky thing. But I put the quote in here, and they interviewed him, and they asked him why he did it, and it said that it makes him feel uncomfortable. So he closes one eye, and it makes him feel like on the mound. You know, obviously you pitch with two eyes open, so it makes it a more uncomfortable environment. And he just wanted to try, different stuff, and
He basically said he wanted to challenge himself.
If he lost his eye in the middle of pitching, he would, have training.
I mean, Scherzer.
Yeah. Well, he can see with both of them though. So.
Well,
He had an eye
Max
patch.
Scherzer had the bunt incident.
Oh,
where he
yeah,
had
I
the
guess you're
black
right.
eye.
Yeah.
That's what I was
yeah.
thinking of.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
In case he bunts a ball off his own face.
Yeah.
He'll be
But
prepared.
Trevor Bauer basically said he wanted to kind of challenge himself, essentially, like Zach said. Like he'd never trained like that before, so he tried to throw with one eye.
Trevor Bauer's a player. I know if he didn't play for the Reds, I would hate the shit out of this
Yeah.
guy.
Oh yeah,
Dude, there's
especially because how he left Cleveland by throwing the ball over the center field wall.
The only reason I like this guy is because I'm a homer.
there's so many people that hate him, and like, he's was on one of my rival teams. He played against the Cubs in the World Series, but I love him, dude. I think he's hilarious.
He is funny.
I love that he just trolls people and like trolls the MLB. I think it's hilarious.
Did you
I
see-
love it.
Wait, the Cubs beat the Indians in that World Series?
Yeah, Trevor Bauer's on there.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Did you see the real MLB news?
No, what's up?
You're trolling, right?
Yeah.
Albert Pujols.
No way.
Lied about his age. To
No
the MLB.
way.
Allegedly.
I'm 12.
Allegedly.
So I don't think they've proven it.
Allegedly.
I haven't really seen the stories. It like dropped and then
Like
it just
2
kind of
days
went
ago,
away. Like no one's making a big deal about this.
Because it was just one front office person that said it. That's the only person who said it so far.
But apparently,
Everyone knows about
Albert Pujols is actually 3 or 4 years older than he says he is.
What?
it. Yeah.
So when the Angels signed a 31-year-old Albert Pujols, they're really getting a 34, 35-year-old Albert Pujols.
That's shitty.
And they signed like what? It was like a 9-year deal, right, or something crazy.
So they're
when they
going to
signed
have like a 45-year-old Albert Pujols on that
Dude,
team.
if that comes out, there are going to be lawsuits, and the fucking Angels are going to get out of that contract.
To me, because I clicked on the video the other day and Griff's like, yeah, I saw this. And I was like, how do you employ someone and not know their birthday?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
'cause,
I
like,
said,
you
it's
and you-
happened
Especially
before.
if you employ someone for hundreds of millions of dollars.
yeah, you would
in the
need like
past,
social security numbers or like work
So
visas.
it
or-
has happened before though, and I can't remember it was something Carrasco. That was like his fake name though. So this was different. Like he was using a fake name, but it was some pitcher for the Indians back in the day, in like 2012, 13ish. But he signed with the Indians and he pitched like 3 years of the Indians, and then ended up retiring. And then afterwards, they found out that when he was like 35 years old when he retired, he was really like 42. Like he was like way older, and he played his whole career like that. He played his whole career saying he was younger than he was, and his name wasn't even the same name. It was a completely different name or something crazy. So it's happened before in baseball. I don't know. They had to have forged some documents. You know what I mean? That's the only way you can do it. So if this comes up to be true, I'm hoping it's not because Pujols is awesome over his career. But people were saying it was crazy that he had 10 straight years, right, in the middle of his prime, where he had 300, 100 RBIs, and 30 home runs every single season. And it started when he was like a 21-year-old or a 20-year-old. I think it was 21 with the Pujols or with.
He did have quite the goatee as a young man.
He did.
Come to think of it,
There was dudes in 7th grade that had full beards.
He was like 21 with the Cardinals, right? When he started that streak and did all the way until he was 31. That's what I'm saying. Maybe he was 25 years old in the middle of his freaking prime. You know what I mean?
Maybe he was really the guy in bench warmers slipping the "I'm 12" thing.
Did you know that Albert Pujols is the slowest MLB player in the league?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No way he hustles anymore.
His home to first time, like averaged out throughout the season, is the slowest out of any MLB player.
I can believe that.
6 seconds.
It's slow.
Jesus.
It's very slow. And that only adds to maybe he's old.
Yeah.
You want to hear something funny? Freshman year when we played football, I had the slowest 40 time. And I wasn't
on
even
the whole team?
Yeah, and I wasn't even the biggest dude on the team.
You did not.
I swear to God.
Dude, I can think of like 5 people.
Yeah, and think of them, and I was slower than them. And I know who you're thinking of, and I was slower. I swear.
No.
Zach,
Yes.
what do you got in here about funky windups?
I don't know. I just thought, we'd have some fun with it. I was thinking of some Johnny Cueto funky wind-up kind of thing. You know a lot of older players like Randy Johnson, Bronson Arroyo. They all had kind of funky wind-ups.
So Randy was weird because he was one of the first big pitchers that threw like 3/4 almost sidearm. You know what I mean? And just slung it in there.
He also hit a bird.
Yeah, I know. He exploded the shit out
Chris
of that
Sale's
bird.
wind-up actually disgusts me.
Yeah, Chris Sales does not look mechanically sound.
I'm pretty sure, like, if I had to face, I obviously wouldn't want to face Aroldis Chapman, but
His wind-up's weird, too.
the throwing angle from Chris Sale, I would bail immediately.
Yeah.
I would just dive on the ground and be like, fuck this.
Yeah, no, I feel you. I'm trying to think of some guys with funky windups. Cueto's a good one because he
Chapman-
changes it all the
So
time.
the way you worded this is you said any odd things that pros do before games or at bats.
Yeah, so it doesn't have to just
So
be
I
MLB.
wasn't even thinking MLB. I was thinking LeBron throws a chalk in there.
I was thinking of that,
Why
too.
is that acceptable?
'Cause
So
it's LeBron.
He makes a mess every time.
It's his league.
You can't just go throw chalk in the air, let it land on the floor, and you just have some bitch boy come sweep it up after you.
He throws it over like the
baby powder.
Yeah, the concession
Yeah.
people. Not the concession people, the announcers.
you know what he
But
does?
when did
you know
that
what he does,
become
though?
okay?
So
At what point?
Well, because Michael Jordan did it first, right? So Michael Jordan made it famous in the '90s, but he didn't throw it up in the air. What he did is he would, I think it was
Clap
the
his
Bulls.
hands.
Yeah, but it was the Bulls. Like I don't know if it was the radio announcer or play-by-play guy, but it was someone that Michael was friends with the Bulls, right? And he would do a joke with him where he'd put the baby powder and he'd act like he wasn't paying attention and smack it right in front of the guy's face and get baby powder over him, and it became a thing. So that was like Michael Jordan's thing when he was with the Bulls, was smacking the baby powder in front of the Bulls announcer's face. And so LeBron James got in the league and decided, I'm going to be the real GOAT. I'm going to be a trailblazer and do my own thing. So I'm going to throw baby powder in the air as high as I can because that's better than what Michael Jordan did. So that's the whole reason with that, because LeBron's better. So
Like, you would think the first time you did it, someone would be like, yo, LeBron, what the fuck?
Yeah, like somebody's going to slip on this,
You
bro.
just threw that shit up in the air.
but it's the famous picture, though. Have you seen the famous picture in Cleveland?
Yeah.
It's LeBron throwing it in the
It's
air.
pretty
It's his
awesome.
witness with the Nike symbol.
Also, I was thinking free throw routines. And what I was thinking about this is almost all basketball players have a routine, and they stick to it to a T. It's like 1, 2, 3, grab, 1, grab, shoot. Like every time. Well, it might vary between player to player. But I was wondering what would your free throw percentage be if they just did a different routine every time?
I'm probably go down.
Like if you took them and you let them shoot 100 with their routine, and you said, all right, you cannot use the same routine.
I think it definitely go down.
You think it goes down?
I think it's similar to the yips thing, right? So I think it's a mental thing to some case. So I don't know what it is. Some people can get in a routine, they can shoot like crazy, and some people can't. Karl Malone, right? So back in the day, he's a Hall of Famer, the mailman, second most points in NBA history. So he was a terrible free throw shooter, like 50% free throw shooter, and he went to a psychiatrist to help him shoot free throws better because he could shoot turnaround jump shots, right? He could shoot post fades, which is a harder shot to make than a free throw when you're sitting there. You know what I mean? But he, for some reason, could not go to the free throw line and make a free throw, right? And so he went to a psychiatrist, and they got in his mind. I don't know. He still won't say what they exactly did to him.
Or they
what talked to him.
hypnotized him.
I know. So every time after that, he went to the free throw line, and he whispered something to him. And to this day, he hasn't told anyone what he said, and no one knows what he said. But he was seeing him in the 90s when he was a good free throw shooter, shot like 80%. He'd be at the line dribbling, like whispering to himself. He'd say something to himself, and he became like an 80% free throw shooter after that.
Speaking of this guy he just got released, Carlos Dunlop, this Seattle Seahawks released him. But back when I was a fan of his, he would always stay at a hotel, no matter if it was a home or away game.
Yeah, I've seen a bunch of NFL players starting to do that now.
And I think that it's more of like a mental thing because it keeps them like they're so habitual. Is that the right word?
Habitual, yeah.
Yeah, like that. Even if
habits.
even if they're playing away, like the night before the game, they're in the hotel.
Yeah.
Or if they're playing at home, you know what I mean? I think that's kind of weird.
I think
that's definitely weird, especially as a defensive end.
Yeah.
I
Like,
get
how
that.
is that routine going
So,
to
your
really
house,
affect
your
your
house is
performance?
literally
So the
like
entire-
5 minutes from that
Yeah.
hotel.
I mean, it depends on the team, too. The entire Cowboys team stays in a hotel before every game, home game, too.
I mean, what if you just likes hotel sex?
Could be.
I mean, that's pretty fun.
Could be.
He always sprays like bug spray. Or no, not bug, like bed bug spray. Yeah.
I didn't even know that existed.
Back to the free throw thing with the routines, though. I think that there's some players you put at the line, no matter what, they're going to make a lot of shots and they're going to have a really good percentage. Like, think about Steph Curry, right?
But would it be worse?
Probably. I think it would.
Like, even if it's 3 shots worse?
Yeah, I think it probably would. I think you guys like Steph Curry, Ray Allen, they're still going to shoot insanely good.
Do you think
But
it would fuck with their head if they did better?
Might. Whoa.
If Steph Curry
might.
drops 95 out of 100 with the routine and then drops like 98 out of 100, no routine?
I don't know, man.
be
That,
like,
that would be kind of weird.
Oh my God.
Steph Curry also had 108 straight three-pointers once, so that's insane.
What?
Yeah, he had 108 straight three-pointers in the corner.
In
Practice.
practice?
Like, they were just throwing the ball, just kept shooting. He made 108 in a row before he missed one.
My
How insane
arms
is
would
that?
fall off.
How
before I did
insane is that? 108 in a row.
Like, literally, your arm would be
There's a
heavy.
There's a full like 4-minute video of him just catch, shoot. Like, and it was a routine, right? The pass was always in his chest. He had it in the pocket, pulled up the same way, and didn't move. He just sat there and shot 108 in a row. That's a routine, right? So it's the same, similar to being on the free throw line. You catch it, bounces to your chest. Because he's always one dribble, roll, shoot every time. That's what he does, and he just shoots super quick. So it's pretty insane to think about, right? I went and shot basketball yesterday. Tell you right now, I did not make 108 shots in a row.
He was limping around.
I missed. Oh, dude, my knees are killing me. I'm out of shape.
You got any more, Jake?
Mike Tyson used to not have sex for a month before his fights.
Mike Tyson.
Did you know that?
No, that's weird.
Yeah, he wouldn't have sex. He said that.
But he'd do
He
cocaine.
thought that his testosterone would build up inside of him, and he'd become a beast.
To get more angry?
He would become a beast.
Oh, God.
I like testosterone up in the ball sack. Make him kind of beast.
Listen here, Claudius.
I fuck you up with all my semen
I
in
hope
my
his
ball
fucking
sack.
tiger comes in here. And
He wouldn't jerk
gosh.
off either. I gotta clarify that.
I was gonna ask you if he would.
Yeah, he'd just no nut November before every fight. Damn. Yeah.
So he would only fight in December?
Speaking of, CJ Uzomah earlier, he licks his gloves for every game. Like, he gets brand new gloves and licks them. And I saw one NFL.
I feel like that's fair though.
Yeah,
I mean, think about basketball players spitting on their hands and wiping their shoes.
But I saw on NFL, like, mic'd up or whatever, and it was a Bengal game, and it was right before the game started, and he's sitting there, and Drew Sample was next to the other tight end, and he's just sitting there looking around, and Uzomah, like licks both gloves, rubs them together, licks them again, rubs them together, and Drew Sample goes, "Did you just lick your gloves?" He goes, "Yeah."
You think you just spit on him?
He just licks them. He straight up licks them like that. He goes,
gross.
"Yeah." He goes, "Why?" He goes, "Gotta taste this dub."
Oh, that's worse than fucking
I know.
W's, bro.
Also, you got Sean Casey used to have a pretty big routine. He'd get,
Oh,
out,
yeah.
get out of the box. What?
the mayor?
The mayor?
Yeah, he'd do the whole unwrap and wrap. And
He
over
would
this,
get out
yeah.
of the box, right glove, and then every finger he'd like loosen.
Yeah.
And he'd tighten every finger.
Kick
and
his back
strap
foot
it,
and stuff.
Other foot.
That'd be
loosen
so
every
annoying
finger.
if you were a pitcher.
Oh yeah, he'd start to
I
slow
mean,
it
well,
down.
you can't do it now because they'll yell
Oh, they
at
have
you
pace
out
of
of the
play.
box.
They have pace of play now, but I think back then, I think it was partially a mind thing. I feel like he was also trying to get the pitcher out of rhythm too. If they were in a rhythm pitching, you know what I mean? It's probably smart, honestly.
Dude, he's come on Pat McAfee's show a few times, and he's a cool ass dude.
He's ripped too. You see how big he is?
No, I haven't
he's a
seen
power
that.
lifter.
I'm just
He's,
talking like
jacked.
Sean
tall.
Casey's awesome.
Yeah, like
He's got stories for days. He's
Yeah.
like that crazy uncle that get drunk all the time and just tell you stories.
Like I'd be sitting there watching the Pat McAfee show, and like I would literally just quit working, just be like, "Wow, this guy's cool."
He goes
Sean
on.
Casey is cool.
Who's it? Jim Day's podcast.
Yeah.
He's got a couple. I don't know if you've listened to him.
I've listened to a few. It's kind of dry.
The Sean Casey ones are good though.
Are they?
Yeah.
You got any more?
Thinking of some, I got one. So, Coach O, Ed Orgeron, he ate a worm once. I don't know if you heard that story.
Lay off that cigar, boy.
Yeah, he hit a worm once, type his team up. But I'm thinking of another LSU coach who's kind of controversial right now. But Les Miles.
Don't talk about him.
Well, I'm not going to talk about the controversial, but Les Miles, he would eat a blade of grass for every single game from the field he played on. So like when he was coaching at LSU, basically the game would start. He would grab a blade of grass and eat it.
What about the Ray Lewis thing? His dance before every game?
Yeah, he did that
like
dance
even
for
if they
every
played
game.
on turf.
That hyped
hypes
everyone
me
up.
up.
That hyped everybody up.
I know,
That's
but even
awesome.
if he played on turf, he would have like a real patch of grass.
That's my go-to wedding as like a
Yeah, the Ray
groomsman.
Lewis. Yeah.
You do the Ray
like
Lewis
the dance coming in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's my go-to. Yeah, it's awesome.
It is. Ray Lewis dance is awesome.
Yeah,
But think about-
I don't like Ray Lewis much, but the dance is awesome.
Yeah. But think about that. Les Miles ate grass for every game. He's like,
Dude, we had
"Got everybody
a baseball
tear the
coach in
field
high
up."
school, and
Tell me this.
we ended up losing to a team that was actually really good, but they were a bunch of young guys. So like, we were supposed to beat them. They were a bunch of like freshmen, but they ended up being awesome that year. It was Beechwood, if you don't know him, and he was so fucking mad at us. And he was yelling at us the next day at practice. And he's like, "Y'all make me want to go crazy." He picks up a bunch of dirt and puts it in his mouth. And it's like falling out of his mouth. He's like, "Come in some fucking poles."
The same coach also got a bunch of bales of hay, and he wanted to dry the dirt on the field, and so he laid it all out and caught the hay on fire to try to dry up the dirt.
Oh my god.
Do you remember that?
I wasn't there then, though. Genius.
Genius. I don't think it worked. I think it just caused a big brush fire.
I don't know. And then the last one I can think of is Joe Morgan. Look at that batting stance, dude. Joe Morgan with the elbow. The chicken wing.
Tweak.
He chicken winged it like nonstop. You ever heard the story why he does that?
I think you said something about someone telling him to keep his elbow up.
So yeah, when he was a kid, learned to bat, he'd always have his elbow like straight down, and he could never get like good contact on the ball. And so his like old coach, so you got to keep your elbow up, and he never do it. So his coach is just chicken wing nonstop. So he chicken wing nonstop, and like since he was like 10 years old, right? And he's an MLB Hall of Famer, right? And did that in the MLB, just chicken wing because it helps him remember keep his elbow up when he loads up.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of crazy.
Well, with the change of baseball now, do you think there's like little league coaches and dads like, drop the elbow,
Could be.
get under it?
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
I used to have a coach. I could never like hit the inside pitch, and I would get scared of it because I was always scared to get hit. So he would make me stand up against the fence and swing the bat. And every time that I hit the fence,
yeah.
I would have to run.
That's an easy drill.
I know it is, but I just didn't like it because I had to run. Didn't make me a better hitter either.
But yeah, that's all I got for those.
Moving on to UFC.
UFC fights, baby.
UFC.
So I watched the fights. It was kind of boring, honestly. I was kind of upset at the three main cards because they had 3 title fights, and they all kind of sucked.
Well, the one was
real?
good.
The highlights looked like they were decent.
I think they were kind of crappy. So, well, I'll put it this way. Amanda Nunez is insane. She's probably, pound for pound, a top 2 fighter in the world, her and John Jones, in my opinion. And she might, Khabib, maybe top 3, too, with Khabib in there, too. I know he's kind of retired, not retired, but the best 3 fighters right now are between Khabib, John Jones, and Amanda Nunez, in my opinion. And she went out there, and this chick she was fighting, like was way bigger than her, taller than her, a little lanky, but she was looked like an animal, tatted up. And Amanda Nunez goes and kicked the shit out of her in the first round, like a minute and a half.
Yeah,
Like,
she just like crumpled and just gave up.
there's nothing.
Like you can tell she went in there and felt like the power of Nunez.
Yeah,
And after like a minute or so, she was like done.
yeah. There was
You can
nothing
just see
she could
it.
do, and which is awesome that we saw a knockout, right? But again, a title fight lasted a minute and a half, and it's kind of
kind of a
sucks when that happens.
TKO.
Yeah, it wasn't even really a knockout. You're right, it was
Yeah.
TKO. So that kind of sucks. I thought the Peter Yan Aljamain Sterling fight was the best fight, and unfortunately it ends with that knee to the head. Right? I thought that was the closest fight. Is the fact that I think Yan was barely winning. I think Sterling had a chance to win, but I think Yan would probably win by decision. And that was nuts. So basically, like when it happened, I saw him put his knee down, and I was like, oh, he's got his knee down. He needs to just like tackle him or something like that. And then he just straight up kneed him in the head. I was like, everyone in the room was like, oh fuck. You know what I mean?
I got parts of the story. I have yet to find an article that explained the whole thing. So what I got was that the I don't want to. Who's the guy not in the green short? Not the guy who got kneed.
Aljamain Sterling.
Yeah, so he thought that the ref was standing them up, and so he let his guard down. And the other guy heard from his corner get a quick knee in because they thought that the round was almost over.
Yes.
And so that's why he kneed him.
So what I had heard was, well, you're basically right. I don't know about the ref was standing him up. That could have been, maybe Sterling thought that. But basically, Peter Yan asked he looked over at his, you can see he looked over at his side, and his side said knee him. So I think from the view of his corner, though, they couldn't tell that he had one knee down. I thought he was kind of like standing there or had 2 knees down. But they didn't know if you have one knee on the ground, you can't knee to the head, right? And I don't think they knew that. And so they said, knee him, right? He's in a situation like that. And so we just straight up just kneed him and cracked him in the forehead. That dude had an insane concussion for sure. And so I think it was definitely Peter Yan wasn't going to do it, but his corner told him to, and that's why he did it. And I mean, honestly, it definitely should have been disqualification because it was 100% against the rules. It really sucks that a title fight got won like that because even Sterling was kind of pissed he won like that.
He dropped the belt.
Yeah, he threw the belt in the ground. He said he wanted to win it fair and square. What I want to think is the most fucked up thing is the UFC immediately pulls him into an interview afterwards. Like, dude, go get him to a doctor.
Yeah,
He's
real.
standing there wobbling around, barely able to stand. They had to walk him out of the ring and stuff like that. And they put a headset on him and sit him in front of Joe Rogan. He's sitting there like wobbling left and right, trying to talk to Joe Rogan. Can't even get words out. He's like out of breath and like dizzy from getting kneed in the head. I was like, dude, and then eventually Joe Rogan goes, okay, so it seems the doctors are pulling you away. We'll talk to you later, Al. And he's like, he got fucked up. So,
What do you think about it?
I mean, do you think that you deserve a title fight or a championship
if
you get DQ'd, if the other person gets DQ'd?
I don't. So to an extent, depending on the circumstance, I don't think that guy feels like he won it though.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
I don't think he did.
I think they'll probably rematch it.
I think the guy that kneed him was kind of a bitch when the ref had both of their arms up because he had his hand up acting like he won.
Yeah,
I was like,
I don't know.
You just got
Peter
disqualified.
Jan's a really
like,
good fighter too. I think they'll rematch it.
I
think
hope
they'll do
so.
a
I
rematch.
mean,
I think Jan will probably beat him the next time.
I think Jan's a better fighter.
And avenge his.
Yeah, I think
DQ.
Jan's a better fighter than Sterling, but Sterling was still fighting good. He was definitely losing, I think.
Also, there has been a lot of talk about Sterling faking his head injury,
Really?
I did see that.
which
Yeah.
I think is a load of shit because if you watch that in slow-mo,
I mean, he got kneed hard.
got
dude,
cracked.
it's literally, there's one thing about getting kneed when you're standing up because it's like the knee has to come all the way up to your face, and by the time that either the plant foot is off the ground, like they jump
Yeah.
into it, or the knee's so high it's already losing velocity.
Yeah,
But when someone's down on a knee like that,
max power.
it's literally like his foot was planted. All that energy was just straight to his head, and his head snaps back so hard.
He fucked him up.
You're like, he's faking. I was like, how could you watch that slow motion
Probably
video?
people that never been hit in the face before they're saying that.
His head literally moved, like gets shook backwards, probably over a foot,
Oh, for sure.
like from where it started to when it's like at the farthest crack back.
He got cracked, dude.
I was like,
it was
there's
bad.
no
I mean,
way.
What do you think about that? Like, I don't know if calling him a bitch was the right thing to say, but like, how can you knee somebody in the face and hold your arm up, acting like you won?
I don't know what you're talking about, the arm up, but
The ref had both of their wrists,
he's-
and he had his arm up like in
he
victory.
had been fighting long enough to know that he shouldn't have kneed that guy in the face right there.
Yeah. So
Like
I
how
think,
good of a fighter he is.
yeah.
No matter what the fuck
No,
that
I
your
know.
corner
I
tells
agree
you,
with that.
he knows damn well that he can't knee that guy in the face
Yeah.
when he's
I
down
think
there.
in Peter Jan's mind, he's like, man, I won this fight and I threw it away. That's probably why he had his arm up. But I can agree with you a little bit, Zach. I mean, he was a dirty hit. I think he'll probably win if they rematch it. So we'll see. I think Sterling's going to want to fight him again, just try and win fair and square.
Fair and square,
and
yeah.
not win by DQ. And then
I was gonna say
Yeah.
that would fucking hurt.
I agree. That was the best fight of the night.
yeah, and the last fight, which I thought was the biggest dud, honestly, that was just really boring.
Right, everyone was pumped up about the style bender.
The last style bender.
Also, so the UFC's been trying to find like their next guy since like they don't really have anything since Conor can't win anymore, and Khabib's retired. It's like every person that they hype up ends up losing.
yeah,
It sucks.
Dude,
So
so
like I know that he's like, why did I just not start to WWE when I could
No.
rig and make superstars?
no disrespect to Khabib, but I had no clue who he was until he fought Connor.
He was really good.
I mean, yeah, he's undefeated.
well, he fought boring though. That's why people don't watch his fights.
Yeah, like he
But
was
yeah.
never hyped up. Like, I mean, I'm sure that I've seen him in a fight, but like a Conor McGregor. If you know Conor McGregor, like you're gonna watch his fight, and like you know his presence is in the ring. But I don't know. I just never knew who Khabib was, and I guess maybe I don't
So-
follow the sport as closely. But
Israel Adesanya, his striking, it's insane. Like some of the punches he throws, kicks he
Yeah.
throws, it's awesome to watch.
So fast.
And it is. It's
Like
insane.
lightning
and
fast.
like it's pretty crazy how Blachowicz he was fighting against was able to dodge a bunch of them. You know what I mean? Like, and he's
I don't know
bigger.
how it is. It's got to be feel. There's no way it's reaction.
It's got to be, yeah. And he's bigger too
Because you see
he
how
was
fast
heavier
the
and
punches,
slower
and there's
too.
like there's no way you can like recognize. Oh, that's coming. Move my
So,
head fast enough. It's
the
got to
fight-
be like a feel. Like
Yeah.
I know he's about to throw it right now. Like I don't know what it is. It's crazy.
The fight was kind of boring. There wasn't really that many big shots. I mean, there were some good hits in the first couple rounds, but I think Blachowicz beat him. I think it was pretty done and dusted. It was a unanimous decision. He fought better than him, but I think it felt like Adesanya was just kind of looking for that crazy strike to try and knock him down and TKO him. You know what I mean? That's what he was looking for the whole fight and couldn't get it.
Yeah, he kept throwing that overhand right. That just wasn't working for him.
But anyway, I thought that was kind of a boring fight. Altogether, I think it sucks, but I think honestly the first like 3 or 4 fights of the card and the prelims were better. There's some cool fights that happened, but
March 27th.
March 27th. I think
You
that
wanna watch the next fight?
is Stipe. Stipe is the next fight.
Another big fight.
Stipe
It's like
Miocic.
the heavyweight fight.
You know, I told you who Stipe was. He's the firefighter. He's a full-time firefighter.
Yeah.
He's a full-time firefighter, and he's also UFC heavyweight champion of the world. Isn't that badass?
That is badass.
He's my favorite fighter right now. Him and John Jones are my 2 favorites.
That would hurt.
Yeah, he literally talks to the people. His firehouse always makes these like joke hype videos for him for his fights, and they make fun of him. So like, that's pretty funny. But yeah, he literally he won his last heavyweight fight. He beat DC to keep the belt or get his belt back. Maybe keep the belt. Can't remember. And he was talking about, I was like, yeah, I got to go into the firehouse tomorrow morning because I told someone to take their shift. The day after he was heavyweight champion.
Don't they have to go into like some concussion protocol?
I don't know. He was probably being funny. He's a goofy guy. Also, insane, too, he was a first-round MLB draft pick as well. So he was drafted in the first round of MLB, and he never panned out in baseball. Then decided, I want to be a UFC fighter. And his dad said, you've never boxed in your life? He was like, yeah, but I was an All-American wrestler in college. Yeah, but you realize you can't just wrestle. You got to box, too. So his dad forced him before he could take MMA classes to take boxing classes. And he became a Gold Gloves boxer in Cleveland, where he's from, around Ohio there. Mm-hmm. He was like a Gold Gloves champion boxer for his age group. Then went and started doing MMA fighting. Now he's UFC champion, which is a pretty insane story.
Would you feel like a failure if you were a first-round pick in the MLB and like you never made it?
Yeah.
Like, it happens all the time.
Yeah.
And the pressure that you get as a first-round pick as a baseball player.
Yeah.
And then to not pan out. Like, everyone just expects you to be better than everyone.
But you got to think about how
really not.
large the MLB is compared like to the NFL. If you're
It's
a
super
first
hard
round
to
pick.
get there.
Yeah, it is. You got to go through like 4 years of like minors,
right.
too.
Like, your expectations when you show up. Like, you show up to rookie ball. And everyone else has no money, and you just roll in off your
$6 million
$8 million signing bonus, and you're like, "Fuck this guy," right? And then you don't outperform them.
Yeah, no, I feel you.
Like, everyone's gonna hate you.
I'm reading.
Everyone's gonna hate you when they're living with the neighbors.
I'm reading Tim Tebow's book, and he's talking about when he went to play minor league after he was done playing in the NFL. And obviously, Tim Tebow's a humble guy, but he talks about how like he would make sure. Like, he didn't flaunt his money, and, like, if people needed shit from him, like, he would help them out. Like, hey, man, like, I don't have enough money to buy dinner tonight. Like, will you buy me some food? I was like, damn, nice guy.
Speaking about athletes not getting paid enough, let's talk about NCAA.
So, you want to talk
Basketball?
about
College basketball, baby.
Dude, I don't hear that as much about basketball.
It's March Madness, dude.
March Madness?
March Madness.
You know what we're doing?
This is March. It's time, baby. I'm so pumped. I can't wait to bet on so many games.
Gridiron Garage is doing a March Madness tournament.
Yeah, we are. Let's talk about it at the end. I'll talk about a couple games that happen.
Oh, we actually care about it?
Yes. It is March Madness, dude.
I just hate basketball. But
Dude,
go ahead.
it is March Madness. That is so sad. You hate basketball because IU sucks at basketball now.
No, I just hate basketball in
Say,
general.
IU lost their 9th straight to the Purdue Boilermakers, and it's pretty hilarious, honestly.
Speaking of IU, you see that they signed their football coach for 7 years?
Yeah. Well, so I saw that Auburn wanted to try and sign him, and so IU said, screw that, we're signing him.
Yeah,
He's a good coach.
Smart, yeah.
Tom Allen's a good coach. He turned the IU football program around, so props to him.
We're a football school now.
Now they are, dude. their basketball team is not it right now. I saw a thing. So IU had two five-star recruits as freshmen this year, and they scored 3 points against Purdue. And Purdue's
because they hate the coach.
I know the 2 5-star recruits scored 3 points, and then Purdue's 4-star and 3-star recruit scored 45 points against them. So it just goes to show too, stars don't mean shit in some cases, right? It's all about coaching as well. So right, there's an argument there for the coaching side. So. Yep. Purdue won. It was awesome. Won 11 of the last 12, 9 in a row. Pretty sweet. I want to talk about something that's blasphemous, right? So listen to this. So Purdue is 2-0 against Ohio State this year, right? They beat them twice. Both teams are 18-8. Purdue has one more win against the top 25. They have the same exact record against the net 25.
Go ahead.
They have all these, like they're all exactly the same, right?
Keep going.
Purdue has more Big Ten wins, more conference wins.
Keep going.
And Purdue finished better in the Big Ten than them.
But
Ohio State's ranked 9th.
Yeah,
and
fuck
Purdue's
them.
ranked 18th.
Fuck Ohio
State. It makes no sense.
They did the same shit in football, and I can't fucking stand them.
But this isn't the Big Ten. This is like the AP rankings, though. But it makes no sense that they literally have the same in everything, and Purdue is better than all the other two. but they were twice as high.
No, it was the same thing in football in the AP rankings.
Yeah.
Because Indiana had more Big Ten wins because Ohio State didn't play their team.
So
had a lot.
that's the only thing
I
is
know.
they lost to Ohio State though. That's why I can understand
But
that.
they beat more ranked Big Ten teams.
lost
They still
to
lost the head-to-head
Ohio
game.
And I get that. And that's all right. No, that's not the argument right now.
But the argument I'm making is Purdue beat them twice. 2-0 against Ohio State. Same exact record, better Big Ten record, better Big Ten finish, same amount of ranked 25 wins, but Purdue's Purdue's 20th. Sorry, Purdue's 20th, Ohio State's 9th, and that doesn't make sense to me. I mean,
But their losses.
so
Keep going about it.
So
Keep
I
going.
can understand them maybe saying like, oh, we still think Ohio State's a better team and stuff like that. But then how is there that big of a gap if they're that close to teams? You know what I mean? That
called
just
money
makes sense.
Because it's Ohio State.
Doesn't make sense.
It's called
to me,
money,
man.
Griff.
Doesn't make sense to me.
Literally
Anyway,
the
The
only.
NCAA works off money.
It is.
They hoard it for themselves. And
Yeah.
They keep it.
so
They keep it away from the small schools.
Some really big madness games though. So I can't remember what the division is, but two teams that were trying to punch their ticket to the tournament. They were mid-major schools. They were the 1 and the 2 seed in their tournament. Both of them lost, and so there's like a 7 and a 10 seed in like whatever tournament. Vermont lost, some other team. They were actually good teams. EKU sadly lost. They were in the semifinals of their tournament. They lost to
garbage.
Morehead State. They're actually really good. They have a 4-star recruit in their team. Do you know that, Jake?
Morehead?
No, EKU. They had
EKU is super good.
A 4-star fresh. They had a 4-star recruit freshman that'll play for him, which I think is
awesome.
crazy. I know he's gonna be a sophomore next year, and he's really, really good. So EKU, sadly
NKU's
lost.
playing in their tournament championship
Yeah, I saw that.
on Monday night.
Big tournaments are coming up now. Big Ten tournaments coming up. ACC tournaments coming up. All the big school tournaments. So it'll be exciting to see. UK pretty much got to win the SEC to punch their ticket. I don't think they're not making the tournament without it. So they got to punch their ticket.
Garbage.
Duke's out.
Garbage.
Duke's got to win the tournament to be able to make go in.
I saw that Duke has been in the tournament for like 30-something
forever.
years.
They're about to break the streak. Yeah,
It's like
so
a 30-something year streak of being in the tournament.
I think if like Duke, UNC, and UK all missed the tournament, or the first time all three missed the tournament since like 1910 or something crazy, like something insane. I know. So UNC's the best chance of getting in. I think some people have them as like the last 4 in. They're like right in the bubble though. If they win a game, I think they'll for sure be in. But they're kind of close. They won some games run at the end. Michigan State, they always say it goes January, February, Izzo, and then goes to April. So they always say Tom Izzo and then instead of March because he always performs in March. They've won a bunch of games in a row, so they're trying to run. I think they beat Michigan too. Michigan was like everyone's like favorite team. So here's another debate for you, Zach. So do you think Michigan should be the Big Ten champions? And here's why. So they've been crowned Big Ten champions, regular season champions, because they had a better winning percentage than Illinois, right? Illinois played more games though and had one more loss, but their winning percentage was just lower than Michigan's. You know what I mean? So, but Michigan missed a bunch of games because of COVID early in the year, so they had some games they didn't play. They played each other one time, and Illinois beat them and fucking routed them by like 25. But Michigan gets the Big Ten championship because their winning percentage is like 0.8 or 0.08 higher, even though they played less games and got routed by Illinois.
Well, who did they beat?
Who did they beat? What do you
Like,
mean?
does Illinois have notable wins?
Yeah, Illinois is ranked. So Michigan's
More than Michigan?
they're probably close. I don't know exactly. Michigan's ranked number 2 in the country, and Illinois is ranked 4th in the country. So they're both like top 5 teams. They're both really, really good. But they played each other one time. Illinois routs them by 25 without their best player. Their best player, I would assume, was hurt. And the only reason that Michigan won is because Illinois had one more loss. But Michigan played like 4 or 5 less games.
Yeah.
Well, it depends how did they specify the winner before the season started? Winning percentage?
Exactly. Winning percentage. So that's why I think Michigan's the champion. Yeah.
Michigan is the champion.
I was just curious. So, there's a bunch of Illinois fans saying they should be
If
co-champions.
they changed it, then that would be wrong.
I agree.
So
then-
if they specified and everyone agreed before the year
No, I agree with that.
that we're going to go on winning percentage, and then like halfway through,
yeah.
and they were like, well,
So what they did in football.
That's what.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I get so mad about the football thing.
No, I
And
can
you
agree
guys
with
know
that.
that. So
I was strictly talking about the rankings, though, saying that the reason that Ohio State was ranked higher than them was because they beat them head to head. I told you I didn't agree the way the Big Ten did it, where they allowed them in the
and
Big Ten championship.
I get why Ohio State was ranked higher in football. Like that makes sense. But Indiana had more notable wins. So who are you going to crown the regular season champ? Northwestern or IU? Because in my opinion,
IU still should had to win, though.
anyways,
But
we all know UC should have been in the final 4 teams.
we
so.
ain't talking about UC. They're trash.
UC should be in the tournament.
Oh,
yeah.
UC,
where did
wait till
your team
UC
finish?
wait till UC makes a run in the in the American tournament and makes the tournament with
All I
like
gotta
4
say
wins.
is that UC played 58 minutes of
8
football.
wins, oh boy.
what?
All I gotta say is UC played 58 minutes of football.
Yeah, that sucks.
Oh,
They
how many minutes
didn't
are
finish
in
the last two.
60?
60.
Oh, dude, they played like 59 and 59.
Did they win?
Best time of the year, baby.
Played like 59, 59.
Best time of the year, baby. I can't wait to bet on March Madness games, though. That's going to end it off with one last thing. Don't even think about Just Bet is coming back for March Madness, baby.
Nice.
Can't wait. And then I also want to say that some guy put a little spreadsheet together of the last 15 March Madnesses or something like that. If you would have bet the first round underdogs in every single game, put $1 on each one, you would have won money. Like in 95% of the games, or 95% of the tournaments. Only for the fact that enough crazy upsets happen that you bet $1 and win $7 versus the ones you win $1 and win nothing. You know what I mean?
So I know you're a gambling man, and I was watching NASCAR this weekend.
Oh yeah.
And
Never bet on NASCAR.
there's one driver. I have no idea who his name is, but he had 1 to 1,000 odds of winning.
So
You could put $1 on this man, and if he wins the race, you walk home with 1,000.
Hell yeah.
So it's
Did you bet
You
it?
put a penny on this guy, just a penny.
And you would have won $1? Is that how it works? Or
You'd have won $10.
$10?
I think.
yeah,
Is that how that works?
yeah, that's crazy. Did he
Yeah.
win?
You put a penny on him. Come on, you
I'd
do
put a
that.
penny, yeah.
Did he win?
I'd put $1 on him.
Didn't win. Did not win. You'd have lost your penny.
Yeah,
But that's some crazy odds, dude.
that is.
All right. We finishing this up?
Yeah.
All right. So, Gridiron Garage, we're going to do a fun little NCAA bracket. Every week, we're going to put a poll up on the Instagram, and we're going to vote, and we have it all planned out on a whiteboard. We'll make it fun. So, just look out for that next Thursday? Is that what we're doing?
Yeah. Just get on Instagram story and vote. Vote for whoever you want.
I think it'll be next.
Whatever
Tuesday.
reason you want.
No, it would be next.
But what it is I don't care when we do it.
No. Go ahead.
This is our life. We
Yeah.
do whatever we want.
Go ahead.
Look for it when it's out.
Basically, it's party sports or party games.
games.
Party games,
Party
yeah.
games. So backyard games, whatever, tailgate games.
We've already
Vote
ranked
for
them.
Whatever reason you want. Whether you like the game better, whether you think that you don't want to vote for the other game because that's what everyone else is voting for. I don't care.
Yeah, just do whatever. I mean, it's
Vote
fun.
for whoever. We're going to see who wins this thing. I have no idea. Let's figure it out.
I think it'd be interesting. All right, Jake, send us home, boy.
All right. Thank you for listening to Gridiron Garage, episode 43, Sports Edition. Please go follow us on whatever social media platform you desire.
We're on YouTube.
We're also on YouTube.
Subscribe.
Please subscribe. And thank you for listening.
100 subscribes.
Follow
Let's go.
Gridiron Pod.